Good afternoon. I hope this video finds you in good health and amazingly high spirits today. I cannot believe we are halfway through this year. So, one of my goals this year has been to try to provide the channel subscribers with valuable insights and what I see as opportunities to enhance your current acquisitions that you may be working on, but also your personal financial life. And so there's kind of two parts. It's a win because for the Patreon members here, I'm able to give pre-training ahead of kind of the in-depth training that we go through on the calls. So this week we've got our media mogul training. So becoming a mini media mogul, which I think is a huge opportunity right now. And so today I want to give you kind of the high level, some of the things that I think are really cool opportunities at a high level. And then on the call in a couple of days, we'll go into more of the step by step kind of process here. So obviously, social media is just this, it's got a vast user base. It's also its own kind of digital ecosystem. And so within that, there are all of these opportunities that exist. And so us as deal makers, the thing that we're never trying to do is build anything from scratch. So for a long time, I've grown some of our acquisitions by acquiring other social media um, assets. And it's funny. In some of these assets, we do so many deals that we just have a lot of accounts that are just out there that we are starting to either exit or whatever. But if we're doing a deal on the business, and then we start to acquire the other social media accounts, what will happen is there'll be some of those which are just, they're not things that turn into cash for us or turn into assets. So, in a given deal, we may buy 10 accounts, and eight of them end up being kind of cash flow positive because the goal is that we're earning income off of each of those accounts separately from the business that we're growing. So we're literally getting paid to grow and paid to market, which goes against what everybody else is doing, which is paying for marketing. Now, the really cool thing is for the Patreon folks, one of the strategies we'll go through is that you can actually just do this strategy for other businesses. And it's one of the things that we go through in the equity consulting training as kind of one of the blueprints that we train on. So that you're able to leverage this strategy and just get equity in businesses in exchange for helping them to leverage this exact strategy. So, the basics though, like today, I just want to cover the basics so we can go into some of those higher level strategies. And so I want to make sure that all of you Patreon members watch this video. So when we go through the mini media mogul training, I want to be able to give you the real mogul training, not just, okay, here are the basics of how you buy these different types of assets. So the very first thing that is crucial is understanding the first the four steps. When the number one thing is, as with everything, is you're trying to get off market deals. So you want to be able to get deals that are off market. You want to be able to do due diligence on those deals. You want to be able to negotiate a good price on those deals, and then you want to have a way to exit. You want to have a way that you're going to make money off of that. And so the exit may sometimes be a sale. It may also be just making money off of a business that you're going to promote to that audience. Now, here's the thing, locating sellers, and it's something that on the good merger side of things, we help clients target and acquire these types of assets because that is a really great kind of low hanging fruit way to grow their business. But on the other end of the scale, we have folks that they end up starting whole businesses based on, we have a client that is, or they're two people, but that are currently in the program, and they acquired a group that is basically a social media asset that had about 100,000 people in it, and that's becoming a whole new part of their business. It's a whole separate business. And so one of the things that we encourage you to do is to create SVPs under your holdco that holds those, and so you want to treat these like they are their own separate business. And so it's worth doing the work to source these deals. So it can be time consuming. Our goal when we're doing it is to find off market deals. And so just like with acquisitions, you're going for deals that aren't on the market because that's where the best deals always are. And that means, meticulously reaching out to the targeted folks that are under this certain theme and then using language that's going to catch their attention, so that you're able to acquire those accounts. The other part of this is making sure that they're not a scammer and that they understand that you're not a scammer, which is can take a little bit of work. But I've done this, and I want to give you some of the language that I've actually used. It's not very complicated. A lot of times, the complex part is when you get into negotiating and, like I said, getting them to feel like you're not a scammer. So typically, we're targeting accounts with a minimum of 40,000. And most of the time it's going to be over 100,000. But in a lot of messages when we're doing outreach, it's really simple. It's like, hello, would you be interested in selling your account? I have an exciting project in mind, and this is really important. It comes up later. So please let me know. Thank you. It's as simple as that. And when we're heavily going after a particular theme or niche, well, we may do 50 to 75 of those across different accounts. And here's the really cool thing. The more of these you do, the more accounts you get control of. You actually get to send them the message through an account. If you're in an account that's already in their target market, this is where the fun begins, where you get to, all of this stuff. I feel like business is about playing chess. You can make money just playing checkers, but you really win when you're playing chess. And so when you're using the account that you're acquiring to get in good with the other accounts and get better deals on those, that's at least the first step to playing chess. When you're playing this game, there's some other things that are a lot more fun. So step two, like I mentioned, you're getting to the negotiation. Typically, if you got somebody who's really interested, they're going to reply within 24 hours. So we separate those. We separate those from the people that still reply later, because it just tells you, like, we really want to focus on the people that are serious, and the people that may not be as serious. It's a different negotiation strategy. We don't want to make them feel like we're anxious, right? So that's kind of a tip on how you treat those. So what we found is that a lot of individuals are going to grow weary of kind of the daily process of growing and cultivating their accounts. And a lot of times they just want to exit it. So typically, when we receive a response from someone, they want to know what price. And so here's the other trick on the negotiations. When you're talking to these people, your goal is never to give a price first. You always want them to name a price. Because a lot of times, and we find it all the time, they're going to give you a price lower than what you were thinking. Now, you're letting them know the whole time from the beginning is that you're going to do due diligence, and you're going to make sure that their account is real and they got real followers. One reason that you want to stress this is so that they know that you're not a sucker, and then number two, that they know that if they do have that, then let's not waste each other's time. I'm going to go through a due diligence process. Like, save me time. If you got a bunch of bots that are on this thing, and most of the time we have a process that we're using before we even look at the page to know that it's full of bots. But just putting that out there a few times, I think is really, really valuable. So if they don't, if they're hesitant to send a number, here's another tip on what to say to them. I'll usually say, like, I don't have any specific number in mind at this point. Like I said, I've just got a project in mind, and I think this would be a great page to use for it. And so you're not ever telling, like, oh, I own this big business, and this is what I'm going to do. It's like, which is the truth as well. I got a project in mind that I want to use this for. So I was just curious to hear what you believe your page is worth, or what you'd be willing to part with it for. And you're going to get some outrageous figures. You're going to get some, right-on figures, and then you're going to get some that are really, really rock bottom. And so what I like to say is, like, hey, we'll start and we'll kind of proceed from there and figure out if we can make a deal work or not. And I am always just, there's just so many of these deals out there. Like, this digital ecosystem is just massive. So I'm never in a rush to close a deal. Like, I am always measuring the deal up against our investment criteria and our deal criteria and how we're going to leverage it, and comparing it to the other deals. Because what you're going to find is that the work of extracting the value from that deal, you don't want to have to you don't want to have to put it in a bunch of different accounts. It's better to find the one that is the very best and put the focus there and get the most value out of that. So some of the other things that you're going to look at in due diligence, I do have to run to an appointment, so I won't be able to go into all the detail I wanted to in this video. But definitely join the Patreon. We've got a really cool training that's coming up. Quickly on due diligence, some of the factors you're looking at, obviously the follower account, you're looking at the engagement, you're looking at demographic composition, which is something that they can take a screenshot of and they can send you some rule of thumb is that, if you're paying around 100 per 10,000 followers, you're probably in a good range. And so those are some of the things to consider. But like I said, the real goal here has very little to do with buying the account. It's what you're going to do with the account after, and kind of creating some strategies. We're going to be talking about, number one, how to get equity in deals by owning these accounts and using kind of your deal maker skill set there. We're going to talk about sourcing deals, creating deal flow by basically acquiring an account that it has followers that are in your target acquisition niche. We're going to talk about putting these things into SPVs like the business I mentioned that's in the acquisition holdco program, and then leveraging that. So if you're interested in this, then definitely join the Patreon. If you're serious about pursuing this, then I would say join acquisition holdco. Thank you all for checking us out. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, play around with the strategy, do some outreach. I'd be very curious in the comments to see how it goes. There's plenty of these opportunities out there. Everybody has these accounts, and a lot of people don't know that they have any value. So this can be a very big win for you. I do have to unfortunately head to an appointment. Thank you all for checking out the video.